Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the stream. Gonna be the 11 a.m. radical run this morning. I did the 7 a.m. got some work done, but now we're back for this session. Hopefully, not too many mistakes this time. Made two pretty costly mistakes on the race this morning. Still managed to finish in the position that I guess I should have according to the points, but I still lost about 5 points. So let's see what we can do now for the 11 o'clock. I was supposed to go to the racetrack, but I'm waiting for
124.8
shipments to come in, so I can't really leave yet. Kind of hoping they show up soon, but maybe just after the race finishes, because it'd be kind of weird if somebody walked in here and saw me doing this.
Pit lane speed limit is 60 kilometers per hour. The leader's just done a 125.6. It takes it is clear.
Don't forget to like and share the screen. Cheers, Dud.
Fastest lap for Nico, 124.4.
Something's wrong with his headset.
P12.
Check. What's up, Mark? Hopefully it doesn't cut out anymore. I'm not sure what's going on with the mic. Or the whole headset, to be honest. Thank you, Mark. Cheers, Chuck. If I can get some audio here, it'd be great. Yeah, it was. There's always a next race, that's for sure. This thing keeps cutting out. Hopefully it's not an issue. Yeah, but this is new. This is the first time this is happening. I'm not sure if it's just with the update that just came out now, or seems to be okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's okay. It was just actually cutting in, like, taking out completely all my audio. Yeah, that's what happened. Like, I couldn't even get sound in my headset. So we don't open the shop. The shop's not open on Saturdays. But my shop is open. I live 5 minutes from this office, so for those Saturdays and Sundays that people want to check out the Ricmotech rig, we can set up an appointment to do that over here. I'm getting really bad problems with the audio.
Right. Clear right.
The car in front has just done a 135.0.
Yeah, man, let me know. I'll be here this weekend and I'm free, so let me know.
That's a new fastest lap for Crawford, 124.1.
I can't drive like this. I'm gonna probably not have a mic on now because this thing keeps going in and out and I can't drive like this.
You've had a black flag. We'll need to come into the pits. Looks like you're clear on the pit exit. track temperature's decreasing. It's now 78 Fahrenheit. Exit's clear. Stay behind the white line. Okay, Jose, we've got 2 laps. Let's get this done. leader has just done a 123.0. P8. Watch your speed limit in the pits. That's the end of the session. 14th. The track temp is 78 Fahrenheit, P14. Alright Jose, stay calm, focus. Go, go, go! They've shown us the meatball flag. We'll need to come in for repairs. The leader has just done a 123.7.
Wow. Is the mic working? Yeah, it's back up. That was stupid. Let's take a look at that start again, guys. That really just happened. Thanks, Josh. Josh, if you want to know what happened, this is what happened. There I go. There's this guy. Yeah, I guess he lost the rear. Did he keep going? No. Yeah, well, it looks like he just lost the rear on the launch. Yeah. Oh well. Shit happens. On to the next one. Damn it, man. I'm really like pushing hard. The iRating's at its highest. And it's like the second you start coming up on the ratings, it starts getting sketchy. That was a good start though. I'm quite happy with the starts on the Radical. Well, at least now, whatever points I lost, I'm still over 2K, so that should be okay. What's everybody else doing today? How's everybody's day been going? I'm waiting on some deliveries. I need to get a... Yeah, thanks, Patty. Yeah, those starts feel pretty good. Hold it up at the second green light and go. Right? That's my struggle too, Will. It's like in the back of my mind, I'm like, is everybody looking at my rating? And then chances are nobody really gives a shit, but I get in my head so much after I like get past that 2000. But that's why I stay in the Radical series, because I want to be able to build that iRating in one series. Josh, I started with the Ferrari. Eventually I'll get back to it. But yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah, it looks like that's what it's taken. My dad was the first one to call it a racing studio. So that might be what we start calling it. Racing studio, creative media. I've got somebody coming over tomorrow. A friend of mine named Manny. He's a neighbor of mine. He lives literally in my neighborhood, and he drives two Radicals. He's got two Radicals that he drives over at Homestead, so I want him to come by, drive the sim, tell him for motorsport. Really, Patty, I haven't seen the schedule yet for season 3, but I'm curious. Josh, if you're ever in Miami, I really do hope you can come down, man. Oh, I'm sure it will. In your position, it's got to be significantly bigger when it comes to people giving you shit. We can't call it Sim Racing Garage, Will. I might get in trouble with Barry. Barry might come over here and give me a 90-minute lecture on why it can't be called Sim Racing Garage. No, but listen, I'm sure that CSL is going to get a good amount of attention. And I know that, you know, you're definitely going to be one of those that is going to be able to put out a good word on it, so let's get to it. Oh, Barry's awesome, man. I mean, listen, between Barry, yourself, Will, Chris Hay, the Sim Pit, the guy that does all the hosting for the Ricmotech Challenge, all these guys, I'm just trying to find my place within all you guys. That's why we opened up the studio. Right now we got 3 Sims in here. Hopefully we get another one of these, and we can actually share the space physically with people, man. Oh my God, I know. I mean, listen, there's plenty of cameras. Don't mess with me. I'll start plugging in 30 cameras to this thing. I just need more USB ports. Pretty much. That's right, Josh. Hey, I'm the lucky one that Will is in my stream. Will and I actually share a lot of the mental health side of sim racing. You know, we both got into racing because of some of the anxiety that, you know, real world motorsport can produce. So yeah, that connection is incredibly valuable to me. Anybody that's kind of on the same journey, trying to do this with motorsport, it's makes me feel very proud of myself. And thank you, Will. Yeah, I mean, it feels very good to hear that. Same. I still have my 2.5 back there, Patty. I've been using this SimuCube Sport for what, 2 weeks now. And I mean, to be completely honest with you, I find it very difficult to want to go back to the Fanatec after this. Appreciate that, Will. I hope that all of us can continue building up this industry. You know, people, the content creators, the people that watch, the people that hold the content creators accountable. I see that this industry is basically ran by the users, by us. So I think that, you know, we owe it to the industry to keep pushing, keep building things up, and you know, this is why I want to do a lot of the sim racing stuff for the younger kids that are in the karting world, because if we can get young minds to understand what this is all about, I think we can create a lot of change. I think that if we get people into that mindset, from the kids to the kids' parents, I think we can do a lot. Josh, this is, you know, why I get on every single day, even if it's a matter of having a really shitty race, just like what just happened. Every single time I get back on, it's because I want to go out and like nail a corner perfectly, or nail the gearing perfectly, or, you know, I'm constantly thinking about the dynamics of the car. Hey, Francis, I'm constantly thinking. The microphone's going off. I'm constantly thinking about how I can perfect my craft. You know, when I got into the whole cooking thing, it's always about the knife cuts being perfect, you know, being able to saute something absolutely beautiful and perfect, and being able to do something that I'm extremely proud of, so that when I go out and share it with somebody, I can be like, heck yeah, you know, I made that, and, you know, it's at its best that it could possibly be. So that's the same thing that I've been trying to do with this experience of motorsport, just trying to create an absolute best experience for myself and for anybody that wants to watch and listen. And if it's something about, you know, sometimes I wake up in the mornings with a tremendous amount of anxiety, and that usually comes from, I think it's the cortisol level in our body. In the morning, it's at its highest. So somebody like me that has been dealing with anxiety, depression for so long, I notice that in the mornings, you know, between 4 to 5 a.m. when I like start waking up, sometimes it's like physically painful. The amount of pain that I feel in my chest here, from the anxiety, it's like it's basically what causes me to wake up sometimes. So, getting into sim, and we run the same track every week on the Radical. So in this case, if I'm at Okayama, going back to that long U-turn after the straight, or not the long U-turn, but the U-turn after the long straight, I think about that shit all the time, and I think about how I can rotate the car So in this case, it's that. It's like a constant obsession about what can I do to get the car around each corner better. We go back to the race starts. I'm constantly thinking about how am I going to dump the clutch? How am I going to approach a corner? I mean, yeah, it's a complete obsession, and I think that that's why I'm here, because if I wouldn't have time, if I wouldn't have had the all the time to do this, I wouldn't be doing it, and I wouldn't be as passionate as I am about it. Really, Patty. That's it's so tough. Like just, and I wish there was an explanation for it, because sit back and I think about what could be causing this anxiety. And ever since I started pulling myself out of that anxiety state, it was an acceptance of, okay, this is just literally a physical feeling that I don't even pay attention to anymore. Yeah, the pain is there, but as second as I wake up, have a coffee, and get in the sim, it goes away. Yeah, Will. I think that's why I get so pissed off when I make mistakes in the sim, because it's me, and when the mistakes are my fault, it's even worse. When a video looks terrible, like the Racing for Mental Health HQ video, I think that took like 2 or 3 times of setting up cameras, setting up lights, and setting up the set. It wasn't like I went and I was like, "Hey everybody, welcome back to Racing for Mental Health" 3 times. No, it was like 2 days trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I stood at my desk just like, what the hell am I doing? But we got it done. I overthink so much, and yeah, it's to my own detriment sometimes. But then there's just times where my brain actually shuts off and I can get in. And sometimes if I feel like I'm rambling here, but whoever wants to keep listening, that's what it is. That's what it's about. I remember one time I was doing a graphic for somebody, and there could be times where, like, this video took me 2 days to produce, or a graphic for a customer that literally took me 5 minutes, for a graphic that was like a 20 by 20 foot graphic that was printed, and it was a pretty big deal. It wasn't like some sort of small graphic that could be redone, but I got that done in 5 minutes, so it worked. Yeah, Patty, I did start making a list of all of my triggers, and except like sometimes I would go back to those triggers. I would have this OCD of like, all right, let me try it. Let me see if it triggers anything, and let me see how I can respond to it. So I would consciously and actively go back to those things, and I think it wasn't until I started creating new OCD cycles, I would start messing with my brain consciously all the time, um, down to if I would leave a pair of shoes on the floor instead of the closet, or in the morning leave my coffee cup on the desk instead of taking it back to get cleaned. Anything, just quick things that I could think of that would usually really, really bother me. That started pulling me out of the OCD cycle, and I was able to move on a lot faster, I guess. Um, Correct. I think that we deal with like what's in front of us at the very moment, because it's easy and it's right in front of us and we can see it, as opposed to actually trying to dig down and understand. So if we want to talk about that, here's a big one in that regard, and I talked about it in the video. But when I was 8 years old, that we left Puerto Rico, we moved to Miami. And if we go back to, I was 4 or 5 years old, every single weekend was spent at the racetrack with my dad, my mom, and the rest of the karting family. If I wasn't at school, I was at my grandmother's tire shop or the race shop, and they were both attached to the same building. So I would literally run back and forth as a little kid through a warehouse, and he would either be go play with motorsport or go play with my grandmother in her office. Um, while we had the tire shop full of cars doing all kind of stuff. So um, my childhood was that. My childhood Sunday at the racetrack, practice, qualifying, race. Um, and when I left Puerto Rico, I turned 9 years old when I moved to Miami. That we tried going and continuing the motorsport thing for karting, but karting back then in Miami was not what it is now. AMR didn't exist, and the track that was here was not very safe. And of course, the financial side of it was pretty astronomical. So the whole racing thing for me disappeared at a very young age, and I was never able to follow it. I always had these dreams of mine of becoming a racing. Um, and I've like shown this a million times. Let me go grab my helmet. This guy right here, 5 years old. I remember the night my dad came home, pretty vividly actually. He had a red F-150 and some Jewish, so it was a Hanukkah night in December. We were getting ready to light candles. My dad comes home from a long day of work, and I see the go-kart in the backyard. And I'll tell you more about the go-kart in a second, but I see the go-kart in the backyard. He hands me a box as like a Hanukkah gift, and I think inside was the suit and for sure the helmet. So I'm like, hey, where's the cart? And it was the one that was in the cart, in the truck. That whole week prior, I remember going to the shop at night, and they kept telling me that there was a go-kart that had to be fitted for a kid that was my size. But yeah, lo and behold, that was my introduction into karting. So it was just something that totally disappeared until I was able to get back into sim racing. It's a good point, Will. Because like let's just say a race car. I've been in a few where I'm in the passenger side, and yeah, the lack of not having control, it's terrifying. Um, and I think that all of these things over time have just amounted to something, obviously that makes us who we are, makes me who I am, but also in a way I've learned that all of that, I'm probably going to butcher the explanation, but like all of that doesn't necessarily need to make up who I am today, right now, in this moment. And I think that's why, we just push ourselves as humans. I've always had this fear of like not succeeding at whatever I'm trying to do. I gave up a lot of times before I started the food photography business. I would always try to like do little things here and there, but I always ended up giving up. And it wasn't until I pushed through. I quit my job October 2nd, 2017, and from there, I guess I started believing in myself and started making the realization of, all right, I have all of these feelings, I have all of these preconceived notions of who I am and what things are supposed to be, and I was completely wrong. I had a basis of who I was, but now I had all of these new things and new ideas that were going to make me a completely different person. Perception is so much of what we do. Perception is so much of life. And while we can create a perception for other people to see us and like, how other people perceive us, I also want to make sure that my perception of myself is exactly. And if that means becoming successful with essentially, this video game, the simulator, the creative media, the racing for mental health, all that stuff. That's my goal. You know, it's a fear that I have that I'm not going to be able to succeed at it, but it's also like the one thing that keeps pushing me, because I wouldn't have put this office together and I wouldn't have put this simulator together if things weren't continuing to happen. Isn't it crazy, Patty? Like, as soon as you break the cycle, how quickly things can change? And I literally mean like within seconds. Within seconds of making a realization, your entire life can change. That's why I always listen to people and pay attention. Sometimes, I can't remember specifics, but sometimes somebody will say something that means absolutely nothing to them, but it will change your entire perception on something. %100% will. I took that with my OCD. My OCD would either take me back to thinking negative thoughts or just doing things that would literally do nothing but take up time. I started taking that OCD and I apply that feeling to the racing, to my work. I get anxiety if I don't put out my best work possible. You know, I have clients that, you know, either they believe in me or whatever, but I know that when I turn something into them, it needs to be the best that I can actually put out, because if not, it literally gives me anxiety, thinking that you know, I let somebody down. And like this business, this is my life. This is my only commitment. Will, I mean, you've got your family, the kids, and I have my family. Yeah, I mean, my parents, they support the heck out of me, but you know, I haven't had a relationship now for nearly 6 years, and this is my relationship. This is pretty much what I'm choosing to do with my time and choosing to do with my life now. Let's see where these packages are at. Hopefully this stuff shows up soon. I don't know if I'll be able to go to the track today. This shit is still not even out for delivery. Yeah, man, positivity is incredibly important. I got my mom to thank for that. My mother, every single day, no matter how bad things are, she's always there to smile, say something positive, laugh at something stupid I say, or even when I win a race, she's usually the first one I'll go tell. Let's see how many points I lost. I think the Okayama race just finished. Minus 69. Come on now. It's a decent number at least. I do have a major fear of that, Patty. I don't know if I just overthink it or overanalyze it, but like I've told a lot of people in the groups that the local groups of karting, and try to reach out to a lot of the local people to come out, check the office out, see if they can help me out with some videos and pictures and stuff. But yeah, nobody really responded. Oh, for sure, Patty. Um, I'll probably run the point. I remember back when I was working at a kitchen shop as I was going through culinary school, and I too felt like that little arrogant little shit that thought he knew everything. People would come in and I'd sell them all kinds of chef knives and pans and absolutely. But now, um, everybody, everybody's got some sort of knowledge that I, and even if they're just talking shit, just let them talk. Just listen. And even if you're in the middle of that, also be conscious of how you're reacting. Don't just react. Don't just react and like be in the moment and like just analyze what you're doing. Could be the biggest bullshit story in the world, but listen, you never know if you need a bullshit story for yourself. All right, what's everybody got going on for the rest of the day? I'm going to start working on the website revamp. If you are, make sure you message me so that we can plan to see if you can come down this weekend. That's exactly what I'm saying, Will. That's exactly what I'm saying. I mean, times where I'm sitting there having a conversation with them, I can stay in tune and like listen to what they're saying, but I also want to know how I'm reacting to it because I think what ended up happening to me a lot was that I would be in a situation and then I'd go back and like overanalyze it for hours and hours and hours or days. Whereas now it's like listen how I'm feeling in that moment and then make a decision on how to react. Get to it, Patty. Yeah, exactly. Well, all right, guys, I'm gonna run. Um, Figure out what else I got for the day. Hopefully these shipments get here soon so that I can get that going. I gotta have lunch soon, and then probably try to head down to the track. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for hanging out. See ya.